As a 911 dispatcher, you're trained to listen for what's not being said. The deadliest calls, the ones that truly haunt you, often start with the quietest, strangest questions. So I'm working the console. It's a Tuesday night, maybe 9 p.m. And if you work this job, you know that 9 p.m. on a Tuesday is the dead zone. It's this weird, stale pocket of time after the 5 o'clock fender benders and the dinner time domestic arguments, but before the real chaos. Before the bars close and the late-night drunks start testing gravity. The room is dark. It's always dark, lit just by the glow of about a dozen monitors in front of me, all showing maps and call logs. The whole place has this distinct smell, like burnt coffee, industrial-grade floor wax, and this sharp metallic tang of ozone coming off the old electronics. It's the smell of the office. My partner Santiago is plugged in on the console next to me. He's on a non-emergency line, and I can hear his voice in my headset, just the sound of him typing, running a boring records check for a patrol unit. License comes back clear, 10-4. That's the rhythm, just processing the mundane heartbeat of the city. Waiting. But tonight, it felt quiet. Too quiet. You learn to hate that kind of quiet. It feels heavy. It feels like the air before a thunderstorm. It means something is winding up, getting ready to snap. And right on cue, my line lit up with a beep. It was a 911 call. I pick up. Standard greeting. Professional. Calm. 911, line 104. What is the address of your emergency? And this voice answers, a woman. And right away, the hair on the back of my neck just prickles. Her voice is thin. It's strained. You know that sound when someone is trying desperately to sound normal? Trying to keep their voice level, but you can hear the panic pushing up from underneath? It was that. She's talking too clearly, too. Performative. She says, "Hi, yes, I was wondering what Officer Johnson's schedule is for tomorrow?" I just paused. I looked at my screen. What? My brain tried to process the request. Officer Johnson. First off, we have like 8 Johnsons on the roster. We've got a Johnson in traffic, 2 in patrol, 1 in detectives. Which one? And second, we never give out an officer's schedule. Ever. That's a massive security risk. We don't tell the public when and where our cops are going to be. It's not a thing. It's not a real question. So I go into my default, customer service, mode. My voice is flat. Ma'am, I'm sorry, but I cannot release an officer's schedule. That's confidential information. And I'm expecting her to say, "Oh, okay, thanks." Or maybe argue with me, call me a public servant who's failing. You know, the usual. Instead, there's just silence. A long, agonizing pause. It was so long, I thought she'd hung up. But the line was still open. And I could hear her breathe in this quick, sharp, shaky breath. And then she says it again. The exact same words. I understand, but I just need to know what Officer Johnson's schedule is. That was it. That's when my annoyed customer brain completely shut off, and my "that's not right" brain kicked on. The training just floods in. Her voice, it wasn't asking a question. She was reciting a line. She was trembling, but she was locking it down, forcing the words out. This wasn't a request. This was something else entirely. She asked a third time, and this time, her voice cracked. "Officer Johnson's schedule." And just like that, it was like a switch flipped in my head. The whole dark room, the monitors, Santiago next to me, it all just vanished. It was just me and her. It was a nonsense question. It was designed to be a nonsense question. The question didn't matter. The call mattered. The act of staying on the line was the call. She was stalling. She was performing for someone. Someone was in the room with her, listening. She had an audience. She couldn't say, "I'm in danger." She couldn't say, "Send help." But she could have a normal, frustrating phone call with a dispatcher that she simply refused to hang up. My hands just moved. all the training takes over. You don't even think. I hit the silent dispatch key. This is a key that lets me broadcast to the officers on the radio, but my caller can't hear me. I muted my mic to her. I motioned to Santiago, just pointed frantically at my screen. He saw the call timer, saw my face, and immediately started working on the Phase 2 trace to get her exact GPS location from the cell tower. I got on the radio to my patrol units. Units in Sector 3, starting a Priority 1, silent. Domestic. Caller is signaling duress. I have a suspect in the room with her. Caller is nonverbal. Call is active. Then I typed into the CAD, that's the computer-aided dispatch. Priority 1, domestic violence in progress. Caller is signaling duress via repetitive nonsensical question. Suspect, likely in the room. Tracing line. All of this? This took maybe 4 seconds. Then I unmuted my mic. My whole tone changed. I became the most helpful, slightly confused but trying hard dispatcher you've ever heard. The mystery was solved. Now it was just a performance. Okay, ma'am. I think I see what the problem is. Let me look that up for you. Johnson, you said? Can you spell that name for me? I want to make sure I get the right officer. Her voice was tight, but she played along. Johnsson. Great. Thank you, ma'am. Just one moment. Okay, I'm seeing a few here. Do you happen to have his badge number? That would really help me narrow it down. No, I don't. That's okay. We can figure this out. My units were already rolling. The map showed 3 cars vectoring in on her location. Which department did you say he works in? And I just kept going. I asked her to repeat the spelling. I asked her for his first name. I asked her if she was sure it wasn't Johnston. Anything. Just stalling. Just building this bubble of normalcy around her. Just keeping her safe on that line. Until, finally, faintly, through her own phone, I could hear it. The sound of the sirens, getting closer and closer to her door. The units got on scene. My radio lit up. Units are 10 to 23, which means on scene. We have 1 male, 10 to 15, which means in custody. It was exactly what we thought. Her ex-boyfriend, who had a restraining order against him, had broken in. He was sitting right across from her at the kitchen table, just watching her. She was safe as long as she was on the phone, but the second she hung up, he would have known she'd called for help. She used the only weapon she had. Us. You see, here's the insider secret of this job. Here's the access you don't get from watching TV shows. We are not paid to listen to what people say. We are paid to listen to how they say it. The words are just noise. The fear, the pauses, the repetition, the things they don't say, that is the real language of an emergency. My job isn't to be a typist. My job is to be an interpreter, to translate the mystery. So here's the pro tip. Here is the insider access I want you to walk away with. If you are ever in a situation where you cannot talk, where someone is in the room and you are in danger, call us, call 911, and ask us to order you a pizza. Ask us what the weather is tomorrow. Ask us for Officer Johnson's schedule. We, or any good dispatcher, will know exactly what you're really calling for. We will understand the question you're not asking. We'll get it, and we will be on our way. So to all the dispatchers and first responders out there, what was the call you never forgot?